Hello, it's the Fringe Ridealong again, and my guest right now, sitting beside me here, handsome chap. He won't get any kisses on the bottom from me. Yes.
That's probably just as well.
Yes. A star of TV, theatre, radio, someone who I actually look up to.
Oh.
With regards to radio, a radio hero of mine. It's Mr. Grant Stott.
Hello
How you doing?
Thanks very much for having me.
That's all right. How you doing? You all right?
Good, yes.
Good.
Just come off here and ready for a bit of chat with yourself.
Good.
Where are you taking me?
I don't know.
Right.
It'll no be heaven and back.
Well.
So yes, I heard the comment about the person doing the stuff for Mr. Cock this morning.
Yes, well, actually, that was Maggie from Wardrobe. She does the panto Wardrobe at the King's, and she works at the Lyceum, and she sent me a wee cheeky tweet, a text just saying that she was listening and she was adjusting Mr. Cock's trousers.
Brilliant.
So there you are.
Fabulous. So we're going to go for a wee drive. Going to talk about your show.
Yes.
And various other bits and pieces.
Okay, let's do it.
Make yourself comfortable. Now, the first thing about a car journey, as you know, is car sweeties.
Oh.
So if you look at the side there.
Oh.
Oh yeah. I take care of my guests.
I've not had any lunch. This is or breakfast. Right.
You can have two if you want.
That's good. No.
You sure? Right.
Yes.
So you sit back, you eat them. There's a wee safety message for you.
Okay.
Once we get playing. Yes. So.
Welcome to the Fringe Ridealong. Please make yourself comfortable while we go through some safety procedures. Number 1, please fasten your seatbelt. Number 2, please ensure all arms, heads, feet and private parts are safely tucked away. Number 3, in the event of an accident, the driver will run away, as this is a stolen vehicle, and as such, the driver will deny all knowledge of everything.
True story.
Now please, press the arrow button and enjoy your trip.
That one.
I feel at home already.
Now, obviously for copyright reasons,
That's right.
we can't play at all. Well, I get out this wee space here.
Right.
There's not much space on Fourth Street.
Very tight.
Very tight.
Very tight full street.
So, yes, I thought I'd make you feel at home before we went. So,
That's nice.
But thank you for agreeing to do this. I just had one of your friends in the car about half an hour ago, Miss Hazelton.
Lovely doing it.
Yeah. And basically all I want to do is chat about the show that you're doing. But before we get on to that, I want to know at what point did you go, do you know what, I'd like to do a solo show, and how hard was it for you to make that decision?
I've always said I would never do a solo show because I didn't think I had the bottle to do it, and I've always dabbled. I've always, the last few years, because I've always had these wee stories about being in the radio, leaving the police and making the change and things like that, and I've used them at events, I've used them at some dinners, and people said, oh, you should build out and make it into a whole hour, and and Karen Corrin at the Gilded Balloon has always said, you got to do your own show, blah blah blah, and I've always kind of went, no, I could never ever stand up alone with a microphone in front of an audience for an hour, could never ever do that. And then genuinely Andy Gray, who I've always worked with at the Fringe the last 3 years doing plays, because he got a job in River City, kind of left me on my own, and my initial reaction was, right, I'm going to have the festival off this year, I'll have a quiet summer, and I'll just do what normal people do, and just enjoy it. And then Karen, first of all, went, right, you're going to do the Fringe on your own, you're going to do that show that you've always talked about doing, and then my wife, Claire, says, you've got to do this, you've got to get a chance to do it on your own, and finally, make this show happen. So it wasn't really my decision, I was kind of coerced into it. Andy was also good, absolutely you must do it, he says so much so, he says, I'll direct it for you. So everyone was pointing to me, do this. So it wasn't my driving it to happen, it was basically everybody else that convinced me. And Karen phoned me up one day, I still hadn't made up my mind, and she said, look, I've got you the dining room, which is the room I really like working in. I've always said it was a perfect sort of room for the show, and I can have it at 5:45. What do you think? She goes, I'll do everything else, just you work on the show, and that's how we work. And here we are.
Brilliant. So the show that you're doing, Tales from Behind the Mic, it's stories from radio and
Yeah.
when you were in the
It's
police
all my
and such
stories.
like.
It's so. First of all, I need to underline the fact this is not me doing stand-up comedy. It's me standing up on my own, sharing some anecdotes and stories of mine, and things have happened to me and other people working in the radio. And I think I remember when I was younger and I first watched It'll Be Alright on the Night on telly, and it's when it was the first chance I got to see people making mistakes and when things went wrong. And now it's commonplace, you know, they're all over the place. You know, you've been framed and such like that. But I remember just how I felt, and I love that kind of sort of behind the mic, that sort of behind the camera, when you see people making mistakes and doing things wrong. And of course, working in radio, you know, because you're doing so many hours of broadcast and things go wrong and things change. So over the years, I've collected one or two little bits of audio. I've collected one or two telephone calls that never ever got on air for certain reasons. And I think people really enjoy that kind of getting to know what goes on behind the scenes. So that's where it really started, and then I sort of fleshed it out to how I got into radio in the first place and how I was in the police before that, and then I got into trouble in the police. Of course, there's a couple of stories about me getting in trouble, not serious trouble, just I was DJing in nightclubs in Edinburgh and things like that, and I got caught. So little funny stories like that, and so I've just sort of fleshed out, and I brought into a bit about working in the panto, and of course, as we've just heard, a wee bit of That's Fife as well.
Yes. Good. I'm coming along tomorrow.
Good. I will look forward to your critique.
Myself and Kerry. I'll probably just sit up the back and shout stuff. However, what I have noticed is that the show is doing very well. And you've actually put on an extra show.
Yep.
So does this mean that like the tickets are worth more on eBay now?
I don't think they'll ever be worth it any more than they ever are, but I am absolutely delighted. We've sold out. Where are we now? This is Wednesday. We opened last Wednesday. We've sold out every night this week. We've sold out every night probably for the next week, and the sales are looking pretty good for the remaining sort of run of the Fringe. So fingers crossed. What everybody wants when you do a show at the Fringe, you want it to sell out.
Yeah.
And so far, that seems to be the sort of way that we're heading. And that's also one of the reasons why I wanted to do the dining room, because it's only 120 seats. So it's I think it was a doable target, as long as we provided a decent show for people to come and see it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, and the feedback has been absolutely fantastic. And
I've noticed that. Yeah. I mean, the feedback from people have been that the show it's good, but take me to the first night. First night you go out there, and it's just you. Andy's not there, Alan Stewart's not there. There's these people in front of you, and most of them you probably know. How did you feel? What went through?
Oh, it was scary the first night of the Fringe, Andy, when we first did Kiss Me Honey Honey 3 years ago.
Fabulous show.
That first night, I thought that was scary. But this, because I didn't have Andy there by my side. Andy was away on holiday. He went away to Spain. He'd booked a holiday, so he wasn't even in the building on the opening night. And Andy he's like my brother in all this. You know, he's kind of, we've worked so closely together on it, along with a guy called Ryan Dewar. So collectively, the three of us have taken this off the page, which what I wrote, and then we've carved it and we've shaped it into this hour of nonsense. But the first night was scary. I mean, because you're walking out on your own, and you know that you're not going to be able to walk off until you've done your hour.
Yeah.
And there's basically me, my microphone, and I have my iPads up there. I had two iPads. One has all the audio and all the visuals, so I play that live on the night and in the moment. And the other iPad is a backup in case technically that one drops. And also, but I had the script on it, just as a wee reference point, just for the first night or two.
Yeah.
But within 5 or 10 minutes of doing the show, I wasn't looking at the script, which was obviously what everybody wants to achieve, but I was kind of in it, and I was kind of, as long as I knew the order and where I was going, I was getting it. So the script is gone, and God, it was. I'll never ever forget the first night of this show, because it was just so, I'd never done it before.
Yeah.
I performed it in front of Andy and Ryan in my dining room, And then the previous Friday, I'd performed in front of about 20 or 30 pals at Radio 4th as a little preview, because it was all brand new. It was all, I mean, and, you know, the whole show is effectively a brand new show. We think it's obviously quite funny, but we didn't know if anybody else would. So that was a test. And that's the scariest point. It's like, I think this will work, but you don't know. You really don't know until you get out in front of people.
Yeah, I mean, one of the worst things that I've never done anything like this. And the worst thing that I could imagine is having to get up and do that sort of thing in front of family, friends and whatever, as opposed to complete strangers.
Well,
is that
was that completely what my fear factor was. That's why I said I would never, ever, ever do it, because I don't have the bottle to do it.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes you got to take a wee step out your comfort zone and test yourself, and and scare the shit out of yourself, and that's what I've been doing.
Now the thing is that it is not something that I would do. It's not something that I would.
Well, you don't know I said that.
Contemplate doing. No,
I said that before.
It's you know, it's like I get asked, why aren't you doing like professional radio like yourself? I'm too old. I'm too old now. My time's gone. As you can see by the grey hairs. But I enjoy what I do, as I'm sure you do. Now, when you step onto that stage, do you go looking for people that you know, or
No.
do you just try and blank everything out?
I mean, obviously, because it's Edinburgh, it's the Fringe. You're going to have pals that'll come along and see, which is great. But it's as much as it's lovely to have your pals there and you know they're going to be positive and supporting you. It's great when there's people that I don't know that are out there having a great time and enjoying it as well, because that's obviously what it's really all about. It was actually funny because on Sunday I've had a couple of technical issues with my iPad. I was doing the Playhouse on Saturday night and I dropped my iPad when I came off stage. Sensitive things, iPads, and I thought it was okay. I just thought I had a wee issue with the screen, but then on Sunday night I had a wee drop and it dropped off from the main screen in the room, and my wife was in that night and she was right on the front row sitting beside her mum, and so I could see her, and then I was in the opening sort of 5 minutes, and I just sort of casually glanced up at the screen and it dropped out. So I thought, right, I'm going to have to fix this. I'm going to have to fix this on the hoof while I'm going. And so I kind of incorporated it into my chatting as I was going, but I could see my wife, she knew what was going on. Maybe not everybody in the room did, but she'd obviously got, oh my God, the iPad's broken. And without the iPad, really, I've lost half the show. So that's a major worry. So she's sitting there, she's like, oh God. So I could see the fear in her face, but which then kind of got me even more scared, because I was like, oh God, you're right, this is quite scary, but I'm trying to remain cool, calm and collected here. As it turned out, it was fine. A quick reboot and we were back in business. But yeah, that's the thing about having people that you know, you're automatically drawn to. But I can't really look at my friends, and my friends are in, I can't look at them because it kind of puts me off a wee bit.
Right.
So if I know a familiar face, and I've had sort of familiar faces in the front row, so I've not.
So it's not a comfort thing for you. It's not.
No, I mean it's nice to know, and it's like, but it kind of, I can't play it to them. I need to sort of not look at them purposely.
So what's next then? I mean, obviously you're doing this, and then you'll have to start doing the panel stuff soon.
Yeah, the panto, we'll see the script probably about September now. I think that's the latest word that we're going to have a look at. I mean, we've got an idea of what we're doing. Obviously doing Jack and the Beanstalk, but we've got an idea what we're doing within that. And we'll be doing that in the middle of November. That's when that really sort of starts in earnest. I don't know what we're going to do next year. This year's been brilliant. We finished the panto, then we did Canned Laughter, which is a play with Alan and Andy, which I loved.
Yeah, we came to see that, and it was absolutely superb. However, to have someone as yourself stand there, and I never knew you swore.
I swear in this as well.
Bad laddie.
I swear in Tales Behind the Mic as well. Yeah. And I swear using the worst possible swear word possible.
Hearts.
Yes, that pops up as well. But yeah, I mean, there is a bit of bad language, and we've had a wee bit of not an issue with that as such, but because I've put warnings out on the tickets. It's a sort of 12 parental guidance. It's just because of the use of the C word, but I use it not just because I FNC all the way through the show.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of times
It's in
where,
context.
where it's in context to what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
but yeah, canned laughter. There was a bit of swearies going on there as well. But,
I'll have to say, I mean, I've met you a couple of times, and you know, it's never something that I've heard you do. And
well, I certainly don't do it on the radio.
Well, I turned to Kerry and I went, you know, because the joke that you said then.
Oh yes.
The school kid.
Oh, that's the teacher.
Yeah, I mean, it was a brilliant joke.
Yeah.
But like I say, I'm like.
That was quite early on in the show too as well. That's
Yeah, but canned laughter was very, very good. I'd love to see it again, actually.
Well, we'd love to do something with it, but it was interesting because obviously it did really well here because of the profile that the three of us have got. But it was a brand new play, and it was three people. You know, you took us to Glasgow, and you know, much as Alan and Andy are known in Glasgow, we don't have the profile that we have through here, and so people were coming to see the play with a bit more intrigue because they didn't know the background to why we were doing it, and it worked, but just not at the level that it worked here. Aberdeen was terrific as well. Corey obviously was great, but it's one of these. The producers have it. They have the set. They have the costumes. They have the script. And if they can find a way to use it, then maybe reel it out again. Not necessarily with us, but it's something that may get legs somewhere else.
Yeah, because it was a very good show. As was Kiss Me Honey Honey.
Yeah, we had a great time with that. That was the first two fringes, first two festivals that Andy and I did, and we took that on tour and again brought that to the King's Theatre as well. So next year, I mean, it's funny because Andy feels like a fish out of water at the moment because he has not done the Fringe, and he's kind of feeling a wee bit left out because the last 3 years he has done the Fringe, and so he's coming tomorrow night, and that's his first. That'll be the first time he's seen the show for real. Last time he saw it was in my dining room.
Yeah.
So he's coming tomorrow night, and I'll be very intrigued to see what he makes of it.
Yeah. Because like I say, I mean, I'm coming along tomorrow night. Really looking forward to it, because we do enjoy the shows that yourself, Andy.
Well, I hope you enjoy
Alan
this.
put
This is
on.
very different because it's not a play, it's not a drama, it's not a panto. It's just me with a microphone talking pish for 4 hours. No, that's what I do on the radio for 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour.
No,
talking,
1 hour on the radio. You
1
don't talk pish, and that's the first hour. Because we're all sitting going, right, what's here? Oh, I can't remember. Which is great. Grant Stott, your show, Tales Behind the Mic.
Yes.
At the Gilded Balloon.
Yes. Every night through until the end of the run. Come and see us. We're on at 5:45 every evening with an extra show on Thursday. But I think that's going to sell it.
Oh, fabulous. Now, before we go.
Oh,
Yes.
you're not finished.
I'm not finished. No. Now, this is you and you alone.
Right.
No one else.
Okay.
Not Mr. Gray.
No,
Not Mr. Stewart. And certainly not Ms. Hazelton.
this is me. This is for me, everyone.
I'm sorry, it's a blue bag. I couldn't find a green one.
Alright, okay then. You got gifts as well. I love this.
That's for you.
What? Can I open it now?
You can open it now.
Oh, Andy Gray's going to go crazy. I've got the prosecco and he hasn't. Oh.
So, there you go.
Thank
That's
you very
for you.
much.
No problem.
You're a top man.
Thank you for coming on the Fringe Ridealong. Good luck with the show.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll be up tomorrow to throw eggs. So, there you go. Thanks. See you.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.